It's the Scotty Myers Show.
Hey, welcome to this week's edition of the show. Welcome to 2020. We've made it into a brand new year, and sorry for the show being a little late. You know, kind of a day behind schedule here, and part of that all goes into my running training, which, you know, if you've been listening to the show, you know I'm running the half marathon at Walt Disney World coming up in, as I record this, 9 days. So it snuck up on me big time. And on New Year's Day, I woke up and I was feeling not great, but I was feeling, kind of like you feel after you've had a night of eating too much shit, which is what happened on New Year's Eve. I ate a lot of junk. So I kind of woke up and I was like, ugh, but it was my only day to get a long run in. So I was like, I got to go and run. And I did, and I was running my splits and felt great until probably, I want to say about 9K in. And at that point, my stomach started to feel a little tight. And I thought, oh, I'm getting the runner's trots. Now, if you don't know, sometimes running will absolutely just loosen up everything that's sitting in your bowels, and it'll want to come out right away. And it's called runner's trots, and it just falls out of you when you actually do it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm on my way back to the park where I know there's a bathroom, so I can hold it in, clinch if I have to, and get back there. And I did, and nothing really happened. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go run some more. So I ran another K, and then felt a real sharp pain and went, okay, I got to go home. Went home, and it just got terrible. Like I used the bathroom, felt terrible afterwards, started shaking. I think either I had a combination of these three things or I had one of these three things. Either I overexerted myself throughout the week. I didn't get a lot of sleep, did a lot of training. So maybe that was it. Could have been very dehydrated. I didn't take anything to drink with me on my run, and I did 16K in total. Or I had a mild bout of food poisoning, which is kind of what I think happened because it was very similar to when I've had food poisoning in the past. It kind of had the same feeling. So it's starting to shake off now. Tummy's still a little tender, but that is why I'm a little behind schedule here. Not a great way to start 2020, sitting on the toilet all day, which is kind of what I did. So much so my legs fell asleep at times. It's good. It's fun. But as far as the running goes, prior to my stomach cramping up on me on Wednesday, I felt great running. I really did. So I'm feeling really good about the half marathon coming up in, like I say, 9 days or so. It's on the 11th at Walt Disney World. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, Scotty Myers Show on YouTube, I will have some pre-race and post-race video on how it all goes and a little bit of the madness of the Run Disney Walt Disney Marathon weekend. It's the only time they do a full marathon there, so it's a bit of a madhouse. I'll have a complete breakdown. I may even do a little live video from the Run Expo on Thursday as well, if I can. I don't want to break any rules while I'm there, but looking forward to that and just accomplishing it. That's all. I just want to finish it, right? I'm not concerned about time with this thing, so we'll get there and have that done. This is also the time of the year where people start to, do the new year, new me thing. They start making resolutions. And I was thinking about it, and I kind of wanted to just, wax philosophical a bit for you, but I say fuck resolutions. And I say that in a way because you make it, and then you instantly feel bad the moment you break it. Like if your resolution is I'm going to eat healthier, and then, you say that on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. A couple days later, there's a leftover piece of candy from Christmas. You eat it, and you feel bad because you feel like you broke your resolution or whatever. To me, the resolution idea is stupid. Changing things is not stupid. If you want to make some positive changes in your life, definitely set forth to do that. But instead of making some bullshit resolution and this is what 2020 is going to be and blah, 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 you know what? Instead, set goals and make commitments to yourself. I find if you commit something to yourself, like if you say to yourself, I'm not going to drink for this many days, and you make that commitment, you can hold yourself more accountable to it. I know you're going, well, what's the difference between a resolution and a commitment? Resolution to me seems like there's no bend in it, right? This is what I'm going to do. A commitment, you're making that to yourself. It's a personal thing. You don't even have to tell anybody that you're doing it. But then it's all about personal accountability. And I know it's very similar to a resolution, but I just like the idea of making a commitment to yourself. Resolution to me seems like something that everybody does and you're doing it just to do it. Make a commitment to yourself, set some goals, small goals, obtainable goals, so that when you reach them, you feel good. And when you do reach one of those goals, like if you say, I'm not going to drink, alcohol for the month of January, and you do it, and you get to February 1st and you didn't do it, take a moment, stop and smell the roses. Feel the accomplishment of the goal, and that will help you move forward to whatever your next goal is. Maybe you're like, I'm going to save a bunch of money in February, and then you save a bunch of money in February. Make goals, set commitments, and do it on a personal level, not something that you announce to the world. And I kind of think that might help you if you are looking to make some changes, but don't feel pressure to make changes just because it's a new year. If you're happy and things are rolling, just keep it going. You don't have to change a bunch of shit just because the calendar changed. There's no point in that. So moving on, I had a story from Christmas that I wanted to share with you because, man, I thought I had crushed Christmas this year. Really did. I thought, oh man, everything I got my wife, spot on. So we're opening the gifts and, shying her away from the big gift that I got her. So she opens her little ones. There's a couple shaker cups, a fun little Funko RuPaul figure. I know she doesn't really like Funkos, but she loves RuPaul's Drag Race. So I got her RuPaul, looks like the statue that all the people get on the show. And then the last gift. And I hand it to her, and she opens it up. And I even hid it in a couple of boxes because it was kind of small. And she's opening all the boxes, and I'm sitting there just going, oh, man, this is going to be so good. I did it. And she opens it up. And what I did, I had bought her a pair of earrings from one of her favorite stores, Tiffany's. She loves Tiffany's. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to go wrong here with Tiffany's earrings. So she opens them, and she seemed excited. And I was like, yes, I did it. And then about an hour, maybe or so later, she's in the kitchen and she goes, can I be honest? I'm like, yeah, of course you can be honest. I don't really like the earrings. And at first I thought she was kidding. I thought, oh, she's being silly. And I went, oh, yeah. And then she was like, no, really, they're just not my style. They're nice, not my style. That's the first time I've ever had anybody tell me that they didn't like a gift that they got for me, that I got for them. I kind of felt like, oh, I'm not going to lie, it stung a little bit. I don't know if you've ever had to do that. I've never done that. I've gotten gifts before that I didn't like, but I just kind of went, okay, whatever. I just kind of rolled with it. And I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong. I'm in a lot of ways, I'm happy she told me, as opposed to just never wearing these earrings that I bought her. I like that she felt that she could be that honest with me. But for the first little while, it stung. I wasn't mad, but I felt like, oh, I let her down. I fucked up. I thought I nailed it, and I didn't. Not only did I not nail it, I totally missed the fucking target. I was way off in left field somewhere. So, thankfully I can take them back and she can get something that she really likes. But man, oh man, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling, but that's the first time I've ever felt it. And from now on, she can just pick out what she wants ahead of time and I'll just buy it. It seems way easier to me. So it's into the new year, and a lot of people will do lists of, top albums and stuff. And I thought, well, I'll throw myself in there. And, you listen to the show, I'm a bit of a movie buff. And so I figured I'd give you just my top 5 movies of 2019. And I know some of these ones, people are going to roll their eyes. And right away, my number 5 one, you're 100% going to roll your eyes. But A, it's my list, so screw off. And 2, I'll explain to you why these movies made the list. Okay? So number 5 was Shazam. And I know you're going, Shazam? Really? Yeah, it was a good movie, but number 5 movie of 2019? It was. Now, these are also just of the movies that I saw, but Shazam was my number 5 because I did not smile more at a movie all year from start to finish than I did Shazam. There was a constant smile on my face throughout that film. It was just fun. It was lighthearted. It had great action. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've watched it many times since then. So while it may not be technically the best film of the year, it definitely didn't have the deep messages that some movies had. It didn't have the, award caliber performances. Not saying that the performances in it were bad, but I love that fucking movie. And it made number 5 for me. Number 4, Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker. And again, this movie, I've seen a lot of people online shitting on this movie, and I I'm baffled as to why. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it when we get into Geek News, but as a Star Wars fan, I don't think it could have been wrapped up any better. This was kind of the perfect ending for the Skywalker saga. Yeah, you could nitpick a few things here and there, and I'm sure there was some really cool stuff left on the cutting room floor, but overall, I enjoyed the hell out of the movie, and it hit me with a ton of emotion. Like, I'm not going to lie, I cried a few times at that movie, and if a movie makes me cry, it's making my top 5. Number three and number 2, I really could have flip-flopped here. Number 3, I put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Just another amazing Quentin Tarantino movie. The guy doesn't really make bad films. It's ridiculous. And he keeps toying with retirement. And it's like, no, man, you've got to keep making movies. You're the most consistent filmmaker, I think, in the history of cinema. And maybe that's why he talks about retiring. He's like, I might as well go out on a high note. But please, Quentin, keep making movies because they keep getting better and better. This may be his best film, arguably probably his best film since Pulp Fiction, but that doesn't mean his other ones were bad. Great movie. Number 2, Dolomite Is My Name. And I've never thought about putting a Netflix movie on my top 5, but I love this movie. I thought the performances were fantastic. The directing was great. And the reason why it went number 2 over Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was simply just it brought Eddie Murphy back. This is the Eddie Murphy that we know and love, and thankfully he's continued that. His spot on SNL hosting was fantastic, but this is the movie when we're, a couple of years from now looking at the great movies that we've gotten from Eddie Murphy over the last few years. It's going to be because of Dolomite Is My Name, and I don't know if it can be considered for any Oscars. I don't know if they did a theatrical release for it, so it could be, but if it can be, Eddie definitely needs to be nominated for Best Actor. Guy was fantastic. And my number 1 movie of the year, Joker, hands down. And this was a surprise even to me because I was skeptical of this film from the get-go. Being a Batman fan, I didn't know how you made a Joker movie without Batman. How do the cops stop Joker? Because if they do, there's no need for Batman. And they managed to do it and did it in a way that was subversive, and the movie had a message, and it lived in its own place and time, and it was different than anything else you saw in a theater this year. And different than any other superhero film. I mean, it's not a superhero film. It's a character study. And it's a character study that would have worked even if it wasn't Joker. I said this when I did my initial review of it, but if they had called this movie Bob, and the script was exactly the same, it would still be a great film. Calling it Joker, I think, got more asses in the seats opening weekend, but the strength of the directing, the strength of the script, the strength of Joaquin Phoenix's performance. I know I said Eddie should be nominated for an Oscar. Joaquin better win the fucking thing, because if he doesn't, the Academy has lost what little bit of credibility they have left. It's easily one of the best performances of the last decade, let alone the last year. And if you haven't watched Joker yet, it's out on Blu-ray and digital. Do yourself a favor, sit down and watch it. It's probably one of the most gripping character studies I have seen done in a long, long time. And just a film that will stick with you. Like, even as I'm sitting here talking about it, there are scenes just kind of flashing in my head. Definitely a brilliant piece of cinema that deserves to be seen. So there you go. There's my top 5 films of the year. Feel free to agree, disagree with me. I know some of you are going to disagree with a couple of them on there. Feel free. Have your say. The Scotty Mars Show on Facebook and Instagram. And then you can also hit me up at Scotty Mars on Twitter. Our off story of the week. The story, when you see the headline, just makes you say, oh, for fuck's sakes. This one made me say, oh, for fuck's sakes, for a couple of reasons. The headline was Sharon Stone was banned from Bumble. And when you read the article, she got banned from Bumble, the dating app, because people thought it was a fake account. They didn't really think Sharon Stone would be on Bumble. But apparently she was. Sharon Stone's a single lady. She's looking for love. And she decided to turn to a dating app. And I never thought about this for a celebrity. Like, if you make a profile and you put Sharon Stone as your name, and you throw up a bunch of, I'm assuming she would put up like professional pictures of herself, the people running the app would probably think it was fake. So it makes sense, but then you go, oh, for fuck's sakes, they banned Sharon Stone. And then on the other end of it, you're like, If you're a single dude, oh, for fuck's sakes, I could have been dating Sharon Stone. She was on a dating app. Like, just, most single guys are on dating. You could be dating Sharon Stone. That is mind-numbing to me. I read that and I went, oh my goodness. Just imagine you're sitting there on your Bumble and, oh yeah, there's so-and-so. She's a barista at a coffee bar. Oh yeah, okay, she's cute. Yeah, oh, this one's works in a bookstore. Oh yeah. Oh fuck, it's Sharon Stone. Swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. Whatever, however it works. I've never been on Bumble, but that's insane to me. You go out on a date with her, and, you're sitting there, you're having coffee, she pulls a little Basic Instinct leg crossing action on you. That could happen. Not that I've given this a lot of thought, but I'm just saying that could happen. Or she is an older lady, so you could end up at like an IHOP having the early bird special. One of the two. But regardless, you could be on a date with Sharon Stone. I think she's back on Bumble now. I think Bumble came out and said, we apologize profusely. Here you go. So if you're in the LA area and you're on Bumble, try and get a date with Sharon Stone. I think even if you're married, it's acceptable to try and get a date with Sharon Stone. I'm not 100% sure on that, but ask your wife and see how that goes. On to the geek news of the week. And as I mentioned when we were talking about the top 5 movies of the year, we're going to have some Star Wars talk. Warning, I may get into a little bit of spoilers here with both The Mandalorian and Rise of Skywalker. So if you haven't seen the finale of The Mandalorian or Rise of Skywalker yet, just hit ahead 15 seconds a few times and we'll get into the rest of the geek news. But I don't understand the hate that Rise of Skywalker is getting online. It's been number 1 at the box office for the last couple weeks, and I've seen some of the criticism saying that it's fan service, and it is. But what's wrong with that? Why is it bad to service the fans of the franchise that are coming to see it? I mean, people complain about Palpatine and how he plays into the movie. And I'm trying to stay out of spoiler territory because I really don't want to ruin it for you, but the old cast showing back up and the way they do that and just everything about the movie touched massive nerves for me as a fan and as someone who has grown up with these characters. I don't think the criticism is fair. And then I think it was a fantastic movie. And then on the other hand, you have The Mandalorian, which just wrapped up its first season, only 8 episodes, which was a real pain in the ass because it was so fucking good. And we get a season 2 in fall 2020, but now we have to wait that long to see the further adventures of The Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. And also what happens with the villain at the end. I don't want to ruin it, but there's a lot of cool callbacks to the Clone Wars TV show and stuff like that. So if you're not fully up to date on the Clone Wars, I've seen some people online going, hey, I'm going to cancel my Disney Plus and just renew it when The Mandalorian comes back. But if you're not caught up on the Clone Wars, season 7 of the Clone Wars is going to start in like a month, rumor has it. In February, we're going to get that on Disney Plus, and it's a great chance to catch up and fill in some of those gaps. So right now, to me, one of the best times ever to be a Star Wars fan. So that's a little bit of the Star Wars talk. I wanted to save that for geek news. Animated news. Deathstroke, one of the coolest characters in the DC universe, getting his own animated show on CW Seed, their streaming service. It's called Deathstroke Knights and Dragons, and it starts Monday, January 6th, so really, really soon. A really good cast on this, but I am a little disappointed that they didn't get Manu Bennett to voice Deathstroke, because, he was Deathstroke in the Arrowverse. But they got Michael Chiklis from The Shield and Gotham. He is going to voice Deathstroke in this. He would do a very, very good job, I think, as that. So this is going to be really cool. If you haven't checked out any of the other CW Seed animated series like Vixen and Freedom Fighters and that type of stuff, they've done a great job with them. So curious to see how they handle Deathstroke the Terminator. One of, as I said, the coolest DC Comics characters, kind of an anti-hero at times. Sticking with the DC universe right now, if you were hoping to see Jared Leto's Joker in Birds of Prey, don't hold your breath, as Margot Robbie has confirmed, unless she's pulling the wool over her eyes, that there is no Joker in Birds of Prey. The film is focusing on Harley breaking away from the Joker and starting to live her own life, so there was no need for a Joker cameo in the film. That doesn't say that Leto is totally done with the role of the Clown Prince of Crime. We're just not going to see him in Birds of Prey. Over in some Marvel news, Deadpool 3 is in the works, confirmed by Ryan Reynolds. There was some concern when, Disney bought Fox that they were going to maybe move on from Deadpool or try to pull them down a little bit into the PG-13 world. But from all reports that I've read, that Deadpool 3 is in the works, and they are still looking, at least right now, at keeping it rated R. But reports also say that the bigger picture is to try and find a way to kind of weave Deadpool into the greater MCU going forward. So we could see a lot of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool going forward. It just all depends on, is it going to be R-rated? Is it going to be PG-13? Hard to tell, but at least we're getting a third Deadpool movie. And if you were looking forward to WandaVision, one of the many Marvel Cinematic Universe TV shows that's hitting Disney Plus, initially WandaVision wasn't supposed to hit the streaming service until 2021. But Disney Plus released a kind of little teaser trailer for all the cool things coming to the service in 2020. That include the Lion King live action movie, Toy Story 4, and then out of nowhere a shot of WandaVision. We knew that the Falcon and Winter Soldier was coming. Now we know that WandaVision is coming as well. So they pushed it up from 2021 to 2020. So we're going to get 2 Marvel Cinematic Universe TV shows on Disney Plus this year. Really, really cool. WandaVision's one, I'm not sure how it's going to work out. I'm anxious to see it. I think it could go either way, but we don't have to wait that long to see it. Don't have an exact date yet on its premiere, but it will be sometime in 2020. And that will do it for this week's edition of the show. Again, don't forget to hit me up on social with any ideas, comments, questions. It's at The Scotty Mars Show on Facebook and Instagram, at Scotty Mars on Twitter. Keep the reviews, the comments, all the ratings and that coming on iTunes and Spotify. The show is growing quickly because of those. So thank you very, very much. And until we chat again, have a great week.